Hi everybody, welcome to the show. Today is episode 135 and we'll be talking about July finished objects. I'm wearing a July finished object. One was finished and then restarted, so there's four things. Welcome to my knitting channel. I don't think there's any updates. I scheduled that test. It's in like 3 weeks, so. And all they had was at like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, do you have anything that's not 7 o'clock in the morning? And so she found me one 3 weeks away at like 12:30. So I think that's the only reason it's 3 weeks away is because I didn't want to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Lots of stuff, finished objects, whips, squishy mail, and I did make it to River Color Studios 20th anniversary. So, and I bought from Webbs and Stephen and Penelope. So full day, I guess. I guess we'll start with whips. My first whip, that's Tormund, Giantsbane, my cat. My first whip, I was just working on it, is the restarted version of, oh my goodness. Hold on, there's something happening here. Of the top I'm wearing, Sinead, which is my original design. So we redid, if you remember, it was a little too big, so we pulled back and shortened the back and widened the front so we could get a more wider crossover. So I had to redo almost the entire front piece, but the back piece was fine. Trying to think of. I redid the increases. I changed the increases to be make one lefts and make one rights, and purl one lefts and purl one rights, whatever, the same thing, but do purl instead of knit, to see if they will be you can't really see, but they're definitely more noticeable on one side than the other, so I thought if I did the same thing it might be, I don't know, I'm hoping they'll be invisible once I block it, so we'll see. I feel like that's why things are done bottom up half the time, is that the decreases look better than the increases. I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot today. My brain, I'm having a high pain day, so I apologize. Sorry. We have finished the cross. What do I call this? The wrap part. So now we're just working in the round until we reach, I think, 80. I'm not entirely sure because the one I've got on, I did 100, and it didn't cut the end totally. Like I cut the end and then I wove it in, but then I didn't cut the end. You know what I mean? And I took out, you can see, I took out all my stitch markers from this one, except for the one that is marking the 80th row. Because I still think it's too long, which is weird because I don't really ever think anything is too. One of my stitches got snagged by a dog, and I keep seeing it every time. I'm trying to figure out if the 100 is too long or if I should go back to 80. And I think I like things to not pull up. Like when I sit down, I like it to cover the back of my pants. So, like I want the back of my pants covered. I want the front of my pants covered. I don't want any type of draft, I guess. Then, wardrobe malfunctions I'd rather not do. I don't want my underwear hanging out. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to decide if I can stand to go back to the 80 or leave it at 100. It's a little too long to where when I sit down, I have about an inch overlap onto my thighs. So I'm sitting, right? And my top is bent with my leg. So I feel like it shouldn't do that. It should be right at the bend. You know what I mean? And I think 80 would put it there. But I'm worried about it then being too short because mostly things are too short for me. They're not usually too long. So I'm going to have to decide on that before I finish this. So I'm going to have to make a decision and then take action. What's weird is this always looks weird here with the join, but then once it's joined, you don't see it. It just looks weird when it's in the thing. I don't even know what row I'm on. I haven't even counted. Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've marked 70 rounds. So I've planned to do 70 and then assess. And I've maybe done 10. So this is going to be a while still. I do have enough left over to finish the crop top that I made in the same color that I didn't have enough to finish because I only did like 62 grams. I will have enough, so once I finish this top, I will then take out the bind off and add I'll talk about that later. My other whip, I only have 2, is what I talked about last week. The striped cropped top. That is the DK knit top that I have shown you all the time. We've striped this version. So here's what I did. I started with the green. It starts here at the back of the strap. 15-inch long straps. With the cotton, I stretch it and make sure it's just under 15 because I find the 15 to be a little too long in the cotton. So I worked each piece in the green, and then when it came time to join, I switched to the gray. So this is how much each thing is, to get the V-neck. It's just that little bit. I think these are 5 grams, about 5 grams of yarn to do the I-cord strap and the little top. And then this bit I think was like 26 grams, this whole stripey part. And then I think the ribbing also was like 26. Anyway, so I changed color for the join, and I did that because I wanted this very first row here in the back where we cast on, I wanted that to be the same color as the straps, just so it would be more cohesive, I guess, which who's going to look at the back doesn't matter, but I wanted that. So here's where I started the stripes on this side, and then when we join in the round, when you work this way, you have the ribbing, and then right after the ribbing there are 4 stitches on your same needle. There are 4 stitches that are stockinette. So 4 of these are right here. So I changed color right before those 4 stitches. And I do that so there's 4 stitches on each side of this rib panel. When you work this rib panel on your same needle, because I use 2 circulars. So the front panel that is all stockinette is worked on one needle, and then this back piece of the ribbing is worked on another needle. And I put 4 stockinette stitches on each side of the ribbing, and that's so you don't get any laddering when you're switching from ribbing to purling and from needle to needle. There's no, I typically don't get laddering anyway when I use 2 circulars, but I for sure don't get laddering if you give yourself a few stitches to help with the ladder. So I think you can see right here a little bit where the color change happened. But I think when you're wearing it, you're not going to be able to see. Because it's ribbing. I thought the rib is going to look different than the stockinette, so it would hide the color change better, and I think it looks really, really good. So I have, I'm sorry, I'm still saying, I'm very nauseated today. I took my nausea pill and it's not working. I've had this leg pain for 2 days now, and it's interfering with my sleep. I'm just not in the best place right now, so bear with me. Doing the show, I think, makes me feel better, at least gives me something to do, so I'm not like focused on, is he in there? He's sleeping in there. Gives me something to focus on, so I'm not like, if you have a chronic illness, if you deal with anything chronic, especially chronic pain, sometimes when it's bad, you just dwell on it, and you can get really depressed and feel kind of hopeless and stuff like that. And so doing the show, even if I'm having a flare day or, you know, higher pain than normal, it kind of takes me out of what I'm experiencing and gives me some other way to deal with it than focusing on how bad I feel right now. Not so much fun for you, I guess, but sometimes I start feeling better. It's not happening yet though, so we'll see. I'm sorry, I keep saying my brain is just not here. I really like the stripe, and I don't normally like stripes. I really don't like stripes usually, but I'm hoping when I wear this I'll like it. I don't know why I don't like stripes. They're uniform. I don't know why I don't like them. You think I would like them because they're uniform and structured, but I'm not a stripy person. I'm just not. But I want to use up this extra yarn, so I'm going to do it anyway. Plus, it's going to be under things, or I'm wearing it to sleep. No one's going to see it. I have maybe, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rounds of ribbing, and I'm doing 30. We'll see how much I have. This is how much green I had left over, so I'll be able to, I know I'll be able to finish the other one. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Those are my whips. Squishy mail. First squishy mail, every time I bend over my necklace, it gets messed up. First squishy mail is from Stephen and Penelope. It was all over one of my knit groups a couple weeks ago that Stephen and Penelope had their West Knits books on sale. So I got 3. I got the Best Knits 1, 2, and 3. Signed copies. Stephen was. This is shawls, sweaters, and more shawls. What's the more shawls? Shawl Evolution. They're very heavy, which is why I'm having trouble holding them. You know, I've never done Exploration Station, and I really want to. There's a couple sweaters I wanted to do, and there's also a couple shawls I wanted to do. So I saw they were on sale. Someone in my knit group posted, one of my knit groups posted they were on sale, so I went on to Ravelry to look at all the patterns that are in them. And I wanted at least one pattern in each one, and I was like, okay, fine. So I got, I don't know, I think I spent like 55 euros. I don't know. And then these are buy one, get one free, the Notions Nest that are made of felt. I remember seeing these on one of his things. They're tabs, and they're just little, boxes, little nests, little, you just put the tabs together and it makes a little half box thing. So it was like $9, buy one, get one free, or €9. I don't know, euros to dollars, whatever. So I got two of them. I was looking for bags, but they didn't have any bags other than the bucket bag that I already had. And I didn't want a second one because I hardly use it anyway. Their shipping took forever. They must have had a whole lot of orders because usually, I think I've bought one other time. They shipped real fast. It took like a week to ship out, and then it got here relatively. So they did not ship DHL like they did last time. So maybe because they were heavier. I don't know. The weird thing is the books are not the same size, which is gonna annoy me on my bookshelf. I freaking hate. Don't you hate this? Don't you hate when books are not the same? I hate it. The paper's good though. Paper's like a matte. It's not a glossy, slick. I really like the paper. So I got those. Then I went to Webb's. Why did I go to Webb's? I'm trying to think why. Oh, because I've been making these tops, and I was curious to see what other cotton was out there, because this is 100% Pima cotton, right? I wanted to try some different cottons. So I got Berroco, not my favorite brand, not gonna lie. Modern cotton, 60% Pima cotton, 40% modal. Just something to try to make one of these tops. I looked for stuff that was similar in, what's the word? Similar yardage to what this is, to see, so I would get a DK. I've never heard of this. Tahki, Tahki, Tahki yarns. Cotton Classic, 100% mercerized, made in Greece. I know mercerized cotton is used for, wait, these are for, I got 4 of these, okay. Mercerized cotton doesn't stretch. It doesn't have the stretch of cotton. So I know it's used for making bags and stuff like that, crochet bags, because it doesn't move. So your bag won't stretch out. And I've used, like cotton thread is mercerized cotton. So I've used that for things like crochet chokers and jewelry, stuff like that. But I've never used it for a top. So I decided I wanted to see what this would do, because it's soft. I wanted to see what it would be like for a top. So we'll see what this looks like as a top. I'm wondering if I should redo the back or no. Screw this guy. This guy's gonna take an hour to do this. Well, that was a nice knitting break. Let's continue. Valley Yarns, Southwick. I love Valley Yarns. This is Webb's in-house brand. This is 42% Pima cotton, 48% bamboo viscose. Black, obviously. It's got a nice twist in it. Almost a high twist, which is weird for cotton, right? It's got that kind of bumpy-ish, you're not going to be able to see. It's a little bit bumpy. Um, so cotton modal, mercerized cotton, cotton bamboo, and then I got baby pink. They must have not had this in any other color that I want. Valley Yarns Leverett. What did I say this one was? Southwick. Southwick is the bamboo. Here's Leverett. 70% Pima cotton, 30% linen. Again, so like Kotlin, the Kotlin from Knit Picks. Okay, Kotlin 70/30. DK 50 gram yards 123. Okay, so this is the same. It's a different kind of cotton. That's Tanguin something cotton. This is Pima cotton. And 109, 120. So the Kotlin DK has more yardage. So this, I don't know, maybe. We'll see how this works out. So that's what I got from Webs. And then next is what I got from River Color Studio. Isn't that cute? I wasn't sure I was going to buy anything at River Colors, but I ended up going. I was fine. I had no anxiety. It was really great. I got some Biche Bouches, Petit, Lambswool, 100% Lambswool, made in UK. This color is dark violet blue. It is 50 grams, 270 yards, so that's a fingering. I was going to make a shawl. It is a heathered blue, purple, red. You know me and weird heathered crap that I like. I was going to make one of my Michelle shawls with this. It's garter and stockinette and lace. That's my plan for that. This piece fleece worsted weight. Color is number 720 Porterfield Plum. Worsted Porterfield Plum. Okay. 75% Navajo Rambouillet and domestic fine wool. So I'm not sure what that means. I mean, obviously, I don't know what domestic fine wool means. It could, I guess, mean anything. 25% mohair, approximately 200 yards, 113 gram skein. So it's almost Aran. Torment has found a bottle cap. Again, purple, blue, red. I wanted to look this up and learn more about piece fleece. I have no idea what I'm going to. I was thinking a top, but it's really thick, so I don't know. Maybe something for it's not that soft. I'm hoping it'll soften up after. I might see what other people made with it. I don't know. Then the big. I don't know if you've heard of Nightshades, but if you're a goth knitter, you've heard about Nightshades. And I've known about this for a few years. But I was worried about buying off the website. I hate buying off website if I don't already know anything. You know what I mean? So this is grown in Montana, spun in New Hampshire. It's American cormo, and wool. Approximately 250 yards, 100 grams skein, DK weight. I was just outside and someone's burning something, so my awesome day continues. Like I said, I had been on their website and looked at all these and could not decide on what colors I wanted. So since I had them in person, I got all the ones I wanted. There's one that wasn't there. It was the darker blue. This is Last Call, which is the lighter blue. Okay, if you don't know anything about Nightshades, it's black wool mixed with other colors, spun with other colors. So it's a black heathered with other colors. This is the light blue. It looks kind of light blue. I mean, it's so what's the word? Not obvious. So subtle that you really can't tell. Okay, this is stiletto. This is, I think, the pink. You're probably not going to be able to see anything. Pink. It's just black with some pink in it. I don't know. Whatever. This is VCR is green. And radio, talk radio, is purple. I'm assuming you're not going to see any of that. So what I can tell you about these colors, I got two of each. I did not get red, orange, yellow. There's supposed to be a darker blue. I didn't see it, but I had two of the Last Calls, and when we got to the checkout, I realized I had two, and there was a line, people, so I didn't go to see if they had the other blue. I should have just had my husband take the bag outside, and I should have finished, because there were other things. There was more Bouche I wanted to get. That wasn't fingering. And then I wanted to see, an Essence of Autumn. They had Essence of Autumn by the door that I didn't see when I walked in. And I would have bought some of that. Well, I would have gone and looked, but I saw it as we were walking out the door. And I was like, so I should have just come back in. What I love about the Nightshades, it's exactly what you think it is. And that it's really hard to tell on the website. It does look different than it does on the website, and it's hard to explain that because everything looks different on the website. It's almost like how your blacks are just different color. You know, if you're a goth person, you know black is not always black. Sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green, sometimes it's red. There's an undertone to your black sometimes. Which is why I like the Prochem Wash Fast Black Acid Dye. It doesn't have an undertone for me. It's neutral black. It's very, very... and then if you want to use it at a lighter depth of shade, you can actually get gray. It won't be purple or blue, and it'll be gray. So these feel like a black rainbow. And I love it. It's heathered. It's so subtle that it's almost looks like lint, but it's in the whole thing. I'm as happy with these as I had hoped I would be, and I got two so I could make my tops. See how it works up. See how I like it. Maybe I might make I got a bunch. I could make something else out of it. I'm mad that I might have forgotten the other blue, but I really like this blue. It looked teal to me, but now that I'm out here, it doesn't. It looks light blue. Very excited. If I had bought these online, I would be just as happy. Really excited to do something with this. Have you made some? What have you made with this? I'm gonna go on Ravelry and see what people have made with this. It feels soft too. It doesn't feel terrible. But again, I don't like superwash yarns, so I like a little grip in my wool. So the lady's like, "What are you gonna make with these?" I'm like, she's like, "Are you gonna make one thing or a bunch of?" I'm like, "I have no idea." I was like, "I don't know, I was buying it." Am I supposed to have a plan? And then she's like, "Did you know you had 4 of these?" I'm like, "No." 1, 2 of each. Just try them out. I was so excited to see these there. Like, we were walking around the whole store, and I'm like, I'm not finding any. They didn't have any. Their cotton selection was bleh. Lots of Berroco, and I hate Berroco. I really am not a fan. And they did have a merino cotton alpaca. It was really expensive. It was in 50-gram balls, and it was a weird weight. I think the yardage was weird for the weight, and I was like, because I wanted to like be able to make tops like this, and I want a cotton and merino blend, but apparently they don't really do that because I think a lot of the cotton drive is for vegan yarns, so they're not going to put wool in a non-wool, because that's our non-wool wall, and I was like, ugh. Bogus. Because I like the feel of cotton, the breathe, like how it's better, the lightness of cotton. But if you put just a little bit of wool in there, you can have some structure. Where if you're adding linen, you're adding bamboo, you're adding modal, none of those are going to give you structure. So you're not adding anything to. You're adding sheen, maybe? I don't know. But you're not adding structure because none of those give structure. So I am telling you that base from Knit Crate, that alpaca merino cotton was my favorite base ever, and I'm never going to have access to it ever again. Still sad about it. Anyway, I was very excited to get to River Color Studio. It is just a giant store. I don't know. My tastes are pickier. They had a lot of Malabrigo. They had the new Malabrigo sock, which I actually looked at, but didn't. There was one color, but I wasn't like about it, enough to. And it's fingering, and I'm like, what are you gonna make fingering? Like a shawl? Like you don't have a million of those already? So I didn't do any of those. And I was looking for some Allegria, but they had solid colors, and I was like, what is this? Usually they have like all the pretty, variegated ones, and they didn't. So I didn't know what I was going to get. And then thankfully I saw the Nightshades, and I was like, well, this is what we're getting. And then we got up to Thing, and they had a thing for a discount, and she's like, there's 150% left, and my husband picked one out, and it was the 50%. So that's like 200 and something worth of yarn that we got for like, what was it? I got like $120 off. And I was like, what now? So I should have gone back in. I felt bad. I should have gone back in and bought more. I absolutely hate when people give me a discount when they're like an indie dyer or a local shop. I hate that. Like I will take 90% off from any corporation all day long. But if it's a small business, I don't want to do that. And I think we need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that with small businesses. It should not be competing with corporations at all. Not with those profits. Not at all. Anyway, there's my little, I had to shut the door the windows because something's burning outside, and now it's like 800 degrees. And I'm going to check the windows and see if it's not burning. But now you can hear all the birds. Okay, so today's show is July finished objects. There are 4, but one has been restarted because it was the green version of this. Restarted that. So I only have 3 to show you. One is this that I'm wearing. And the other 2 are the DK knit tops cropped from the leftovers. And what's weird is the difference in these 2 is a few rounds of ribbing. I don't even know how many rounds of ribbing, to be honest. But the green one is a smidge bigger, which is very strange. Isn't that strange? And that might just be because I've been wearing it more, like I wore it more. That's the same yarn, different. Have you noticed if you work with yarns that are the same base but different colors, which I do all the time, I always find a difference in the color. I always find a difference, always. There's always a difference. Usually the lighter colors are bigger, or I get more yardage than the darker ones. So these are made the same needles, same everything, a little bit bigger. And this top. So that's 4 things that I finished this month. It's going to be a short episode, and then what am I going to... Once I take out my ums, I'm going to have nothing to show you. So anyway, once I finish the striped top, I'm going to start the ballet wrap sweater that I'm turning into a V-neck that we've talked about. I'm going to start that. So that's what I've been working on today, is the striped, well, I was just working on it. I put the other one away and then I worked on that. So I want to get that one finished so I can start the other sweater, since the Sinead top is just in the round part now, so I don't have to focus on it at all. However, I'm planning my next Sinead, and I was gonna do the turquoise like I said last week, but now I've got all this black, and I'm trying to figure out if I should do one. If I should do one instead, like one of these instead. Just so I have a black one. And I'm thinking of doing this one because these are actually 100 grams. So I'm thinking this is the modal, cotton and modal, 60-40 Pima cotton and modal rayon. What do you think? I'm thinking, oh, the black, this color is 1634. Should I do black one before I do the turquoise, or should I just do the turquoise? I really want a black one. You guys, I'm not kidding when I tell you, if I could make everything in black yarn, I would. I literally would have everything. I would have 60 of these in black yarn. Not kidding. I do like the gray. But I want everything in black. I really, really do. It's kind of ridiculous. That's why I love that Nightshade. It's black, but it's just a hint of color, and I'm loving it. And I want to make something really cool with that, and I don't know what. Like, I love to wear all black and then, like, have a pop of color, like, under just this poking through right here. I love that. Just if this was black. This is purple. I don't know if you can tell because it's so small. Just have a little hint of color and then throw a shawl on that's got a bunch of color. That's how I envision my wardrobe. It's what I'm working towards. But then every now and then I want something. Well, I don't mind gray because that's pastel black. And I don't like wearing black in the summer. I really don't like wearing black. It's too hot. So don't mind gray. I really love wearing gray in the summer. And I don't mind other colors in the summer. But plus you can wear gray with your pastels. But I find just black in the summer is too hot for me now that I'm getting older and I can't control my body temperature. Which just keeps getting worse as you age, by the way. It just gets worse. Gets way worse. I'm hot all the time. It's terrible. So I try to not wear black. And, well, my bottoms are usually black. Pants, skirts, shorts, usually black, because I guess my butt doesn't get overheated. I don't know. But my torso definitely gets overheated in the summer. So what? I don't know. This feels almost like microfiber yarn, which I'm not a fan of microfiber because, like, microfiber towel. Do you have the tactile issue with microfiber, like, towels? They are, like, grippy on your hands. Do you get that? Like, I hate microfiber touching my skin. I hate it, hate it, hate it. But the microfiber yarn is really soft. And this feels kind of like what I've felt as microfiber yarn, but I don't know what that is. Is microfiber an actual fiber, or is it a type of fiber because it's a microfiber? Do you know what I mean? Is it a specific? I don't know. That bird is driving me nuts. I'm sure you can hear that. It's very loud. So I'm not sure. I really want to do a black, but maybe I'll wait until we're closer to the cooler weather, because I am thinking these I can wear under the harvest sweaters that I'm planning on making, the harvest cardigans, which you'll see next, not August, but September we'll probably start maybe on our first one of those. So I was thinking I could wear this under a cardigan for, regular cooler weather. And also the tops I'm making, the ballet wrap tops that I'm going to make into a v-neck. Hopefully that works out. Anyway, I've never made a raglan sweater that fit me before, so let's focus on that first. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Like, just make it and make sure it fits, and then we'll deal with whether or not you're going to wear it as a short sleeve. Like, first things first. I'm really hoping it works because the gauge is the same, so it should work out. It really should work out. It should work, because that's the gauge I took for these, was off my 220 full length of these, is where I took the gauge off here. The front part, not the ribbing, this part. Anyway, I'm excited I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited to start that too, and hopefully that fits. And then if that does work out, I got a bunch of sweaters to make. Bunch of sweaters ready to go. Well, DK and worsted weight. So the fingering weight sweaters, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to find. I don't know if I want to grade that to be. Remember my rants on Instagram about gauge and how it's unreliable all the time. Because knit is not like a piece of concrete. It moves, it stretches. And depending on your fiber, the stretch is different each time. So like these stretch different than my Cascade 221s. Every fiber is going to stretch in a different way. So I feel like all of those sweaters are going to fit just a little bit different. But I think as long as I get the fabric isn't too holey, I think we're okay. I think that's what I need to focus on and see what ones I can do on a 4. Unless I'm assuming the ballet top comes in other. Is it like ballerina top or ballet wrap, ballerina wrap, ballet wrap? Ballet wrap top. Something. I think it comes in different sizes, so I probably could make a bigger size if I had to drop down to 3.5 needles like I did for these. This is not the same as this. This is done on a 4mm. This is done on a 3.5mm. So the ribbing is a little bit different. I mean, the ribbings, the size is a little bit different. This is a little bit more open weave, which is fine because it's a second layer. This is the first layer. I don't want it as open weaved. Actually, this is on a 325 because it's the cropped version. I use a smaller needle for the ribbing on the cropped version than I do on the full length version. I feel like I am the queen of over-explaining and too much information. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, that's the show. That's it. Short one today. Next week, probably going to be dye projects. I'm probably going, I keep saying this. I keep saying I'm going to dye that orange yarn and the yellow yarn and the coral. I always feel like I'm saying coral wrong. It's a weird word to say, coral. It's a weird word. Besides that, all the coral in the ocean is dying. Did you know that? It's bleaching and dying. Don't mind me. I'm having a crisis every day. I gotta be done by 3. Oh, you want to hear this? This is hilarious. My husband's like, I'm going to preface this with saying, I'm going to assume you know about my backyard tree and my love for my backyard tree. I have a backyard tree. I'll recap. I have a backyard tree. It's actually 2 backyard trees. It's actually 3 backyard trees. 2 of them are in our yard, and then they had a baby that's growing in our neighbor's yard. And they are the most beautiful tree I've ever seen. And it just keeps getting bigger. Like, it just keeps growing. Like, it wasn't even here when we first moved in. I swear to God, it was not here. We've been here for a decade. So, this thing's huge now. Like, the leaves are down to the ground. It's hilarious. And come fall, it's just an explosion of color. It's different greens. The spring, summer, just deep, deep greens. And then come fall, it explodes. Actually, if you go down my playlist, you'll probably see, because I put a picture of my tree, I think, in that one. Did I? I don't remember. I know I put it on my Instagram. And every year, the fall is just my favorite thing is my tree. I love my tree. Then this year, I did one of those the app thing to identify the tree, and it's sassafras. And I was like, oh, that's a cool name. It's sassy. No, it's freaking causes cancer. So of course, my favorite tree is a cancer tree, right? So my husband the other day is like, we need to have a serious talk about your tree. And I'm like, what do you mean my tree? And he goes, we have to take it down. Like, it's overgrown, it's overgrown. It's hilarious. Like, it's out of control, but that's kind of how I like my nature. I like nature to just take over. Oh, I'm smelling burning again. You know, we have a neighbor that burns crap in their yard, right? Like literal trash or so. I think I know which neighbor it was because they cut down a bunch of fir trees, like pine, fir, and then burned all the branches. And like fir trees, you do that for smoke. Like if you're doing smoke signals, you want that kind of and it makes it so like my throat just immediately, I smell smoke and my throat closes up and is like, nope, we're not breathing. So I'm going to stop here. So we'll see when my tree is gone. Which means I won't get another fall with my tree. And I don't know how to feel about it. Because I'm sad. But also it's a cancer tree. Like I don't know how to feel about it. Doesn't matter. It's a tree. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's 2 trees. If I didn't feel everything, like I had to personally feel everything. I feel like I have to personally feel everything in the world. It's exhausting. I think it's from the PTSD and just growing up in trauma that you just feel things that I'm too empathetic. I think I feel things that aren't. You guys, Pee Wee Herman died. Pee Wee Herman frickin' died. This is like, I can't handle this. Like Pee Wee Herman, when I was young, Pee Wee Herman was my favorite. And so was Boy George. I'm not kidding you. I think because I was such a weirdo, I identified with the other weirdos. So like Boy George, Pee Wee Herman, weirdos, right? Everyone was like, oh, they're so weird. I loved any type of weirdo person. I loved it. If you were spaz, I was in your corner because I was a spaz. I was the spazzy kid that nobody liked. That everyone was like, you're weird. Whatever. Fine. And I'm mad that when they caught him in that theater or whatever, I don't even care. I don't care. Even at the time, I did not care because I just wanted to watch Pee-wee's Playhouse and watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure and help him find his bike. That's all I cared about. I didn't even know he had a show or a movie on Netflix. I haven't even watched it yet. I gotta watch it now. I'm like, he did something with Joe Manganiello, and then they became like best friends. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I gotta watch that. And like, what is him and Alan Rickman both dying of cancer, not telling anybody? Another weirdo that I loved, Alan Rickman. I was just thinking about the movie Dogma, and what a great movie that was. I really liked it. Anyway, I'm real sad about Pee Wee Herman. Oh my god. Like, how many times when you were a kid did you do the tequila dance? Because I did it all the time. Right? You did it all the time, right? He was my favorite. I just loved things that told us we could be weird. You can be weird. You don't have to... I was listening to someone talk about the difference between fitting in and being accepted. Or feeling like you belong. And that fitting in means you have to change what you are about your you need to fit into a mold, that there's something that you need to provide in order to have your place, where I forget what else they said, belonging and being accepted was just as you are. And I think there's a big difference, and I think that explains my entire existence. I don't fit in anywhere. I had to make my own family to have a family. You know what I mean? And it's dogs and my husband, and that's it. But really, I even felt weird at the yarn store. I did. I felt weird there until I went to pay, and then they're all nice. And they kept trying to give me a bigger basket because I was holding all this yarn. I was like, I need a bigger one. Do you have a bigger one? And it seems like if you're if you're gonna spend money places, they like you better. Which is probably what I hate worst about America. If you spend money, people like you more. I'm not spending money to get people like me. I'm spending money. I'm spending more money because you had goth yarn at the store. Trust me, you don't like me. It's okay. Anyway, I gotta go. So we gotta feed the dogs because my husband's got a work call. So come back next week. I think if it's not 800 degrees, I'm sweating out here. I'm gonna have to go inside. I'll do the dye projects. This is why I didn't want to stop doing dye project, because I knew I would stop dyeing if I didn't need it for the show, because nothing in my life gets done if it's not for this show. I just want you to know that. So I'm going to keep doing the show because it is for me. This show is for me. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. No hard feelings. But I do it for me, to keep myself going. I do. It's for me to be an idiot. I mean, whatever. What other reason is there? I'm not an influencer, that's for sure. I'm just sharing my journey. Share what I like. Share what I'm working on. And if any of you are thinking of starting a channel, you should. And I feel like I don't say that enough. But if you be weird. Be weird, make art. And give it out to the world. Because what other point is there? And go buy yarn. It'll make you feel better. Okay, I'm leaving. I'll see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.